What's CNC?
Consensual non-consent.
It's guys that leave the West, United States, UK, etc., and they go to other places to get girls.
Feminine women.
They go to like places like Brazil,
Colombia.
Well, like women of
Colombia,
age
etc.
still? They're still of age?
Yeah,
of course.
It's just that they don't like American girls because, I mean, I'll be honest.
This is such a common shaming tactic that women use. The way she just casually says, oh, they're of age, as if it's just so common that men regularly date women who are underage and that no one checks this behavior. Here are a few more examples of this exact same type of shaming tactic.
So what's your type in women? Petite, no body hair, submissive, preferably a virgin. A child?
Ha! Never heard that one before.
Passport bros go to third world countries and purchase little girls and turn her into a breeding mare.
What kind of porn do you watch?
CNC.
What's CNC?
Consensual non-consent.
What's that mean?
Yeah. But it's all consensual.
Okay. Do black people watch that? You do? All right, so based on the type of porn you watch, okay, what's that, 83?
This CNC type of play is real and way more common than we might expect. For those of you who meet someone who subscribes to this style of bedroom fun, I strongly suggest to avoid it. It is way too dangerous. Here are a few more examples of it.
Favorite fetish?
CNC.
I don't even know what that is.
Consent, not consent.
Oh my God.
I almost want more than 30 seconds on
we need
that.
to elaborate on that one.
Yeah, I'm breaking the rules right now.
We've got to break the rules.
It's like, I like the scenario of, but not actually being. I like to be very submissive, like do whatever you want to me without me having a say in it.
What is consensual non-consent? CNC for short is any type of play where one person pretends not to consent even though the activity was agreed to ahead of time. We're talking about role-playing realistic scenarios that bring up your fight or flight response. Common CNC scenes may include blackmail, kidnapping, and other extreme situations.
You know, why is that a thing? And of course, we want to pathologize it. We want to say, well, those women are damaged. Those girls, it's, you know, those only damaged girls do that.
Rolo has actually discussed this point quite often. Anytime that there are unflattering truths that are spoken about women, the common replies to these unpleasant truths are, these women are damaged, these women need therapy, these women have baggage, these women have trauma, all in attempts to move the conversation forward. Here are actually a few more examples of it.
Attractive.
Okay, and it destroys the relationship.
Not necessarily.
It does.
A lot of women actually like to be with toxic men.
Can I say something quickly?
Those women are in therapy right now. They're not okay.
They still do it, bruv. So there you go.
And usually awkward or bad at talking to women.
Yeah.
A lot of comics are.
Most comics are, yeah.
Yeah. That's usually like guys that came up weren't. No? No. I can't. Patrice was ridiculous. Patrice could actually insult them all the way into the bedroom. That's so crazy. And they would just be walking in going, I know, you're right. You're right.
But those are the broken girls. And broken girls you can always manipulate.
Sure.
At
Listen,
any level, right?
No, let me tell you. It's still work. Yeah. It's just something that women won't understand because you guys don't have to convince people to have sex with you.
No.
Gotta love Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neal. Rest in peace. This next clip is also Rolo, where he discusses an extremely common argument tactic where people claim that everyone is just so different, there's no human constants, there's no generalities that apply to human nature. And it's used so often, I think it's pretty much overlooked, but it needs to be accounted for because people use it to the point where even Rolo says it makes any behavior excusable. After Rolo's clip, there are two examples of this argument tactic that he mentions.
Again, it's not preferences, but if we can make people think that it is, if we can make people think that it is what I've called the lie of individuation, and I wanted to get into that just briefly here before I get into the next video here. The lie of the fallacy of individuation is this. Everyone is a special snowflake. There are no human natures. There is no human nature. There is no, like, everybody's special, everybody's different. It's just this big chaotic mess, and no one knows what anybody else can be attracted to. No one can predict anybody's behavior. No, there are no human constants. It's just everybody are these free radicals, right? And what happens when we think of it in those terms is it throws things certainly into chaos, but it also makes anything excusable and anything possible. So when I'm the last person who would buy into something like that. Okay, the lie of individuation, or the fallacy of individuation, is that personal, like your free will and your higher order way of thinking in some way negates your biological realities. In some way, it negates your actual evolved human nature. Now, do we have free will? Are we still responsible for our choices? Absolutely. But there are still constants. There are still generalities. And that's another thing that I get accused of all the time. Oh, you make sweeping generality. Well, that's what we work with the scientific method. That's what we have to work with. The exception proves the rule. Man bites dog is news. Dog bites man is not. So when I'm accused of making sweeping generalities, you're so generalizing. Oh, Rollo. Yeah, because that's how we make a predictive framework. Is it always 100% perfect every time? No, of course not.
I think that's partly because of the foreshortened time frame that women have to contend with. Like, women have to get the major pieces of their life put together faster than men, which is also partly why men aren't under so much pressure to grow up. So because for the typical woman, she has to have her career and family in order pretty much by the time she's 35, because otherwise the options start to run out. And so that puts a tremendous amount of stress on women, especially at the end of their 20s.
I think I take issue with the idea of the typical woman, because, all women are different. And that's what I want to just put another quote to you from the book.
Well,
you
they're different in some ways and the same in others.
It depends what those two people want. Right.
Well, how do men need to be loved, do you think?
However he wants to be loved.
Damn, that's scary.
Everyone's different. I can't speak for all people.
There's some general things that you need to have in place to
I
love a
would
man
hope
correctly.
common sense. You would know
How
those
would a
general
man-
things, but you should talk to that person of what they want.
You're asking.
I loved our
Thank you.
conversation.
How did that feel, rejecting somebody?
Powerful.
It's an evil world we live in.